when I came down here and the surgeon said, I think this is going to take 3 trips instead of 2 because we want to improve the health of your jawbone, I was thinking, oh gosh, I hope they're not going to say, oh, now we need to change the whole price. And no, they didn't. I went in and they were like, I know that this is another trip now, but we told you the price before you came here, and that's the price. We're not going to change it. That's not something they would do in the United States, that's for sure. My name is Lindsey Burill, and I am from New Hartford, Connecticut, way up in the United States in New England. After I had gone to a few dentists up in the States near, where I live, and got the treatment plan of what they would do to give me my smile back, then I got the sticker shock. The 40 to 60 grand price tag to do this. And that just is not feasible. I mean, especially given, you'd need a loan for that. It ends up being so much more money. Once I had made the decision to do this, I just had to do it. I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to wait anymore. So I started looking at other options. A little bit of Googling to find places down here. And then I realized immediately, oh my God, this is more than half less expensive than it would be up there. I could save almost $30,000 and have a trip to a beautiful place in Mexico and be right on the ocean. I mean, it seemed almost too good to be true at first, but I'm glad to say that it wasn't. I learned and I looked at the website. They had such technical, precise explanations of the procedures. I knew that the procedures and the treatment plan matched up with what I was getting at home. The dental coordinator that I had here, Oscar, who, he was a hero. He literally got me here, saved my life. I owe so much to him for doing that. He was so patient with me, with, my insecurity of showing that, what had happened to my smile. And he must have spent hours on video chats with me, talking to me, answering probably the same question 10 different times, but he would do it. And he was just, he made me feel like I was coming down here and I had a friend here. I had somebody that when I got here, that I had someone that was going to be looking out for me. He never made it seem like he was trying to sell me on anything. He just made me feel like we were friends and talking about how I could take my life back and be able to smile again. And that was really big because most of the doctors up there, when I said, oh, I'm thinking of going down to Mexico and saving, a lot of money and having a great vacation on top of it, they immediately, no, bad idea, sketchy, probably gonna be terrible. And that didn't match with what I was getting from Oscar and the overall impression. And I knew that the treatment plan that he had very detailed explanations for to me, it was the exact same thing that they were telling me that they were gonna do up there. So I knew that it wasn't, and they weren't telling me no for my best interest. It was more of, they would prefer if I got it done there and paid them 60 grand. Finally, my aunt's dentist, who actually came down here with me, he was the only one that actually looked at the website, read the website, looked up, the credentials of the dentist, and he was honest with me. And he was like, you know what, yeah, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't go down there. They clearly know what they're doing. They're very professional. They're all, have great educational backgrounds, tons of training. He's like, this is the same caliber treatment you would get if you came into my office. So I want you to know that you can go down there with confidence. I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't truly believe it. I just want what's best for you. When I came down here and the surgeon said, I think this is going to take 3 trips instead of 2 because we want to improve the health of your jawbone, I was thinking, oh gosh, I hope they're not going to say, oh, now we need to change the whole price. And no, they didn't. I went in and they were like, I know that this is another trip now, but we told you the price before you came here, and that's the price. We're not going to change it. And that was, really impressive to me. That's not something they would do in the United States, that's for sure. And they don't expect you to pay all this money right up front before you have any results either, which is also comforting. So you really get the sense, a very, very authentic sense that they do want the best treatment for you. Growing up for the first 20 some odd years of my life, I had a perfect smile. I had braces. I've never had a can of soda in my life. I was an athlete all through high school, all through college. I skied. I had a ton of friends. I loved public speaking. I was the president of my class in high school. And I just loved being around my friends and being around people and connecting and helping people. I did a lot of projects in high school that helped people that needed it. And that just instilled that in me from that point. And then I had a really dark turn in my life where I was, assaulted, and I had several teeth broken, knocked out, and between that and the years of my asthma treatments that got worse after I was in college, that would require, week-long hospitalizations that they would just blast oral steroids at my teeth, and that just destroyed what was left. I mean, they were so weak that when I was in the hospital with COVID in the ICU, the very beginning of the pandemic, the tubing just knocked my last two front teeth right out. And at that point, I knew I had to get this all-on-4 treatment, which is amazing considering only 10 years ago, they would have had to do an implant for each individual tooth. And now they can do, 4 implants and do a whole arch, and it's revolutionary. And, I knew that was what I needed, and I knew how expensive it was up in where I was from in the United States. I had made a promise to myself to finally stop living this shell life that I had been of myself for these past years, where I, wasn't seeing my friends. I was refusing to date or have a social life. I mean, my best friend was really my daughter. I never went anywhere. I was just so embarrassed to be, even though it wasn't my fault, I was like this. It's still very traumatizing to see people that are used to you having, a beautiful smile, and then them realizing that it's gone. It just zapped my confidence, and I didn't even feel like myself. And my little brother, who I love dearly, is getting married in July. And I knew that I had to be there for him, and I had to be there and be able to smile and not be emotional or scared and show up for him, because things had gotten to the point where I was even too scared to go see family members because I was just so depressed and empty of feeling like this that I couldn't smile. And now I've gotten that back, and it's an amazing feeling. I can't put into words what it's been like to relearn how to smile with my mouth open again. It's been amazing. I knew coming down here was going to be an experience. I was very confident coming down here and felt safe based on the relationship I had, and the confidence I had gotten from talking to not just Oscar, the dental coordinator, but also the dentist talked to me too. But then I got here, and my mom and my aunt flew down here with me, and they stayed at a different resort because they didn't think there would be room here. But we all came here the first night straight from the airport. We were blown away when we walked in here, just realizing how big this suite is, how beautiful it is. This is the nicest place I've ever stayed, hands down. You don't even realize you're a few floors above the dentist's office. And I don't understand why. I mean, they don't do things like this in the United States. To be just a couple floors above where you're getting surgery and having a lengthy treatment, it makes you feel so safe and not worry that you're right there. Your doctors are right down there and someone is always there if you need anything. I researched several places coming down here. Other than the interpersonal relationships I built with the staff, it was that I could stay right on top of where I was going to be getting treated. I didn't have to go on any long car ride home after the surgery in pain. I just had to go up on a little elevator and then plop into a nice, huge, comfortable bed. This is bigger than the suite my mom and my aunt are staying in over there. And it's just been an amazing experience here. The surgeon, the dentist, Dr. Yesenia, she was amazing. She explained everything to me. She answered my questions. Her assistants were amazing. They are so comforting. It really was very obvious to me that when they were going over my treatment plan, that they weren't just concerned about doing what I wanted as fast as possible. They made it very clear that my health and doing what would be the right thing for me in the long run versus just rushing a treatment, but taking the time, getting my jawbone health better, stronger, then putting in the implants, then putting that final perfect smile on. That meant a lot to me because I knew they didn't have to do that. They could have just stayed with the plan, put the implants in. You know, they didn't have to say, oh, let's make this much longer and add a bunch more of treatment in that we're not going to make you pay for just because we want you to end up with a perfect result that's best for you. And that was huge to me and to my mom and to my aunt, who, they came for some of the first appointments. And by the time my surgery day came, I wasn't scared. Honestly, the technology they had there was better than what I saw in the offices I went to up in Connecticut. By the time I went into surgery, I felt so comfortable with the surgeon, the anesthesiologist, his assistant, the surgeon's assistant, that I knew I was safe, and they make you feel so comfortable, and they're very direct with the instructions afterwards, not to mention that you're just right upstairs. It's just a very safe feeling to know that you don't have to travel an hour home and be far away and out of reach from your dentist when you're healing. You're right upstairs. And what can be better than that? I know that there are countless women out there, and men too, but personally, I've met so many women who are still living that same scared shell life that I was. You go through years of therapy to heal emotionally from whatever trauma or abuse that you've gone through. And that feels like such a triumph. But then you look in the mirror and you still have this one giant reminder of what happened to you.
Life-changing. Thank you. Maria Brasola. Oh, it's been great. And you guys both have been so patient and understanding.
After a year, right?
Yeah, it's exactly a year. Like I was here this time last year, so it was exactly a year.
And I know how that feels. It feels so debilitating, and you just feel like, how am I gonna ever find myself again? But I want you to know, I was you, and I'm now sitting here on camera, remembering how to smile again and feeling like myself for the first time in so long. And from the bottom of my heart, I really hope that you guys can know that it's not over. You can take your life back. You can claim back your identity, your confidence, your social life, everything. Don't let your past keep you from having the future that you want. Life is short, and it's possible, and it's a great experience on top of that, and it's nothing to be afraid of. I mean, this has been a great experience for me, and I thought it was going to be scary, but it wasn't. It was empowering, confidence building. I already feel back to how I was before any of this happened to me, and I know there's so many people out there that went through what I did or worse that are in the situation that I was. And it's hard to make that decision and be like, I'm gonna do this. I am getting my smile back. But I want you to know, do it. You can make that decision and you can get your smile back.